we have to start off with Leverkusen. They break the record. They reach the Europa League final. They entered this game up 2-0. They entered this game up 2-0 after, going to the Stadio Olimpico, a very tough environment. They won the game 2-0. So they come in home and they're defending the lead. And not everything goes smooth sailing for them. They go down 2-0. There is 2-2 in aggregate. They find the breakthrough through a goalkeeping mistake on goal. And then they get the final minute equalizer that keeps up their win streak to move on to the Europa League final, where they'll be facing Atalanta, who defeated Marseille, winning 4-2 on Leverkusen won 4-2 on aggregate. Atalanta wins 4-1 on aggregate against Marseille. Leverkusen, they also reached the German Cup final, so they have an opportunity now to chase a treble with the German Cup final, the DFB Pokal, and then they also have the Europa League final. They've won the Bundesliga. They're undefeated. They haven't lost a single game all season. 49 games unbeaten streak. Not a single game lost all season. Unbelievable. Are they really going to go invincible in all competitions? That will be one heck of an achievement. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. They have 40 wins in their unbeaten run. And then it's just great. It's amazing. This is going to be their third European final that Leverkusen played. They also, for a continental title, they also lifted the UEFA Cup in 1998, and they lost the Champions League showpiece in 2002. Roma did well to get back into the game. I mean, everything was against them, being down 2-0. They had the experience of Paredes knocking down 2 penalties. And they did well to, climbing the mountain that they had to climb. And they were very, very composed. But Leverkusen, it just seemed like Leverkusen, as soon as the second goal in, they started to get a foot in the match. They played a nice possession style system. They didn't panic. They kept going side to side, 1-2, 1-2. They were able to get that breakthrough. And then it becomes a tricky situation. It's 2-1. You're down 2-1 technically. So this is, technically, it will still go as a loss, even though the aggregate, it's 3, at this point it's 3-2. You're in a point where you're saying we have a lead that we need to defend. We don't want to take this to extra time. But you also have this record, this unbelievable feat that you try to chase. So you're kind of caught in the crossfires, like whether or not we should go for this, whether or not we should go for this goal, whether or not, we should just stay defending and just see out this result and move on to the Europa League final and forget the record and all that. And we were watching it, and it just seemed like it's Leverkusen, because Leverkusen, I mean, the late goals that they've scored this season is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they've literally been called Leverkusen because of the last minute goals, not just to win games, but to equalize. When you look at, they scored a 94th minute goal against Bayern, a 94th minute against Karabakh, a 94th minute against Augsburg, 91 versus Leipzig, 91 versus Stuttgart, 92 versus Karabakh again, 93 and 97 versus Karabakh again, 91 versus Hoffenheim, 97 plus Dortmund, 97 plus Stuttgart, 97 plus Roma. It's unbelievable the amount of goals scored within stoppage time to, either win them 3 points or win them a point. And the celebrations you saw against Dortmund whenever they scored that last minute goal. Keep in mind, this is a Leverkusen team. They already clinched the Bundesliga at that point. This goal is strictly, to keep up this record, to keep up the unbeaten streak. They equalized in the last minute, and the way everybody, all the substitutes run on the pitch, even Xabi Alonso runs on the pitch. It's just amazing. Xabi Alonso, by the way, I just love his his body language as a manager. You know, certain times he celebrates, certain times he just goes little fist bump, certain times no celebration. I love the way, the way he just seems composed on the sideline. Everything about Xabi Alonso, just screams like a world-class manager. He just looks so professional, and the football that they play, the counter-pressing, they winning the ball high, but then playing a nice possession-based football. I love the way Leverkusen play. And the way that they're 49 game unbeaten run is an unbelievable achievement. And I can't believe it. I can't grasp it in my head. And it makes me think, what if Bayer Leverkusen were in the Champions League this year? Man, oh man. The way that they get production when it comes to goals and assists from their fullbacks, Grimaldo and Frimpong, it just sort of reminds me of Robertson and Trent a few years ago. But this is a little bit different because Grimaldo and Frimpong, they're getting the goals in the back of the net. Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold, in terms of creation, in terms of ability to play, put in crosses and all that, can't touch them. They're the best I've seen when it comes to assisting, crossing, all that. But Trent had a few goals in him with set pieces, sometimes making a late run in the box, shooting a shot. But Andy Robertson, he doesn't give you any goals. That's not really part of his game. But Frimpong and Grimaldo, the capacity that they have to get into the box, their ability to play on the counter, to get into the box, to score goals, and to provide assists is phenomenal. Xhaka provides great complementary to Florian Wirtz, who is able to pick up the ball, beat a man, open up space for his teammates, play a genius ball, play in one of his strikers, or play the ball out to one of his fullbacks and completely shift the defense. For me, it's amazing the way. The way that they play. I love the way that they're. I love how they don't panic, even in those situations when they were down. Even when they're down, all these late games, they still keep it composed. They still trust in the manager. They still play the football that they play always. They're not scared, and that's what I love about them. It's a sign of a brilliant coach team. At the end of the day, whenever this pressure's on, whenever you're down late, and you're able to still stay composed, stay relaxed, play the football the manager wants you to play, it's a sign of coaching. It's a sign of clutchness, and that's what this team is very, very clutch. They have that clutch gene. We don't really use a clutch argument when it comes to soccer, because it's not something people use when we talk about basketball, football, especially basketball. This guy has a clutch gene. This guy, whenever you're down, whenever it's fourth down, you want to go to, who do you go to? You want to go to Antonio Brown or whatever. They say he's the clutch guy, or Michael Jordan, the clutch killer. You don't really say that when it comes to soccer. But this Bayer Leverkusen team, they are a clutch team. They are a very, very clutch team, and they do go on. And keep in mind, they don't have that many games left. They have the cup final, the DFB Cup Pokal final against I believe Kaiserslautern, if I'm saying it right. They have that. Then they have the Europa League final against Atalanta. And then other than that, they have 2 games left in Bundesliga. We are looking at a very, very good chance. Obviously, it's 2 finals and anything can happen in the 2 finals. But you're telling me 4 games for them to go unbeaten? You're looking at a very, very good chance to happen. And that got to be one of the most remarkable results. Maybe a best single season in a very, very long time. Obviously, when you win a treble like the way City did, that's also a very big season just because of the Champions League element. But this is sort of a weaker treble, but finishing unbeaten, it's up there with one of the top seasons I've seen a club ever do. And if they're able to, we're gonna talk later. We're gonna do transfer talks later, talking about the situation with Florian Wirtz potentially. But if they're able to retain their guys, why can't they make a run in next year's Champions League? Why can't they make a run in next year's Champions League? It's gonna be very, very interesting to see.